My name is Doug Chalk, and I was the executive director of one of British Columbia's licensed adoption agencies, Sunrise, for 15 years. And my experience is really working with adopting parents and before, during, and after the placement of a child in their home. When parents are considering adopting a child from an orphanage setting or just an older child from overseas, my number one advice to them is to think about what psychiatrists say is you cannot subtract from your experience in life. And I think that says it all, and it's true for, of course, not only adopting children, but for everybody. But when the children come to adopting parents, they've had many life experiences which they cannot take away from their mind and are in there. And I don't think enough attention gets paid to that by adopting parents. So if a child's been in an orphanage setting and has been physically and sexually abused, these issues don't come out often for many years down the road, or even many months down the road. But when they do, the parents don't know where it's coming from because they don't know that child's history. And in other cases, we've done some adoptions from Africa where the children have seen truly horrific acts of violence. And of course, it takes a long time to work that stuff through and professional help when they get here. And again, parents don't realize that when they adopt. So that would be my number one advice, is to really, if you're going to adopt a child from a war zone setting, if you're going to adopt a child from an orphanage setting, no matter what the setting is, learn as much as you can about that setting so that the surprises that come down the road are not unexpected. So in terms of getting ready to go overseas to adopt a child, one of the most important things for parents to do is to perhaps prepare by thinking about the whole situation from the child's point of view. So think about, okay, I'm the child in this pretty scary situation. What's it going to be like for me? And clearly, if they speak a different language other than English, for example, in your English speaking, to learn as many words as you can in the child's language so that in that first short while you can communicate with the child, because really we have had some reports of parents in going overseas and having a great deal of difficulty in the first couple of days where either they don't like the child or the child doesn't like them, or they're having trouble just communicating about anything, and everybody gets frustrated. So absolutely learn some words or take a friend along on the trip who speaks the language. When the child is here, of course, it's really important to involve the child in their culture. So if the child's from Korea, for example, take them to Korean events and Korean family dinners and get together with other parents who have adopted Korean children and keep the language and culture alive. And for example, Korea is a good example. Our Sunrise's parents group, they actually will meet once a month and hire a language instructor to teach these children Korean or Korean and English. With older child adoption, parents need to come to the understanding that what's in it for them, the relationship, the gratification, is going to take time. It's going to take investment of their building the relationship, becoming attached to the child, and by spending the time and doing that, the gratification for them of the relationship will eventually come. But it's not going to happen easily or overnight. Children who spend time in an orphanage, whether it's a year or several years, have a number of common characteristics, sort of starting with developmental delays. Secondly, hoarding, basically survival instincts. And lots of adopted parents report that when the child comes home to their house, the child squirrels food away under their bed because that's been what they've had to do to survive. And just generally, of course, being institutionalized has numerous effects on a child's life, including, the potential for abuse that might have happened in the orphanage.